Lion's Den Survival Principle, Part 17. Waiting until the last chapter is written. Daniel 6:26-28 says, Then King Darius wrote to all the people, nations, and men of every language throughout the land, I issue a decree that people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, and he endures forever. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. So Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. You've seen it happen. The home team is down 3 touchdowns in the last quarter of play. The stands begin to empty so that by the time the clock is shown 5 minutes left, there are empty seats everywhere. Then, through some miracle or resurrected motivation, an unexpected event happens. The home team comes back. With 14 seconds on the clock, scores a winning touchdown, and joyful pandemonium prevails. The curses of the fans who are halfway home in their cars, listening to it on the radio, are audible all over town. If they only had stayed until the end. Daniel always stayed around to the end, until his God had written the last chapter, until victory emerged. He kept on believing until deliverance came. He did have one advantage. He was not an American. An impatient, time-obsessed, instant everything, quick-fix American. It was culturally more acceptable for him to persevere until the final victory. Too many believers fail to appreciate that profound Yogi Bear-ism. It ain't over till it's over. Things look bleak. The opposition is overwhelming. Resources are depleted. Energy to keep fighting is gone. Circumstances are all adverse. So they give up, lose heart in what they perceive to be a sure defeat. They throw in the towel before the fight is really over. Then, stunningly, victory emerges from the jaws of defeat. Their God reveals himself in power. Survival principle. Hang in there until God finishes his work. Leaving 1 second before God brings victory is catastrophic. Hanging around 10 years after he wins is sharing in the spoils. Suppose, after 40 years of herding sheep, Moses had decided to end his own life in despair, just a day before the burning bush. Suppose Judas had just waited 14 more days before deciding to betray Jesus. That would have left the Romans with Jesus' blood on their hands, and he himself a dazzling follower of the risen Christ. Suppose Daniel, being thrown into the lion's den, had lost hope and committed suicide. Survival principle. Difficulty is not a reliable indicator of impending defeat, because it is also the typical setting in which victory is secured. Another survival principle. Difficulty is the environment for a miracle, unless it is to be a very great miracle. Then the environment is impossibility. Upon Daniel's emergence from the den, the following happened. Darius issued an international decree that every subject must worship Daniel's God. He composed a poetic tribute to Jehovah for all the people to hear, and he set Daniel up so securely that he prospered during the reign of Darius and his successor. All this occurred because Daniel was willing to wait for God. To wait for God is to wait for good.